Hope you guys are all okay and all good. Welcome to another video. My name is George. For those of you who don't know, feel free to subscribe down below if you're not already. And this is my 5 happy things for January and February, because I'm late. 5 Happy Things is a series of videos that I started a few years ago on my channel, where basically at the end of each month I wrap up the month with 5 particular things that had made me happy in that month. I missed January, I've basically missed February because it is the start of March, so I thought I would smush those into one video and put all my gratitude into this particular 5 happy things, because actually some of the things on this list that I've made actually cross over, so it makes sense to kind of share them in one place, or at least that's how I'm justifying it in my head. So this is something I actually want to try and like keep up for an entire year, because I don't think I've ever managed to complete an entire year of 5 happy things. And even if I do the rest of this year, I still won't have completed an entire year because technically I missed the first month. But it's something that I want to start doing more of, looking back and thinking of the things that have been really good about a month, because obviously it's really easy to sit there and think about things that are hard or things that have been difficult or things that suck. So this is a way of kind of doing the gratitude thing and kind of doing a monthly favourites, but a monthly favourites that's focused on like things that have happened and things that have made me happy. So let's do that. I encourage you to join in the comments. Feel free to put your 5 happy things that have happened in the start of this year in the comments below, because obviously the world is kind of falling apart, whether that be because of Brexit or because of 45 or because of coronavirus. So put 5 things that have made you particularly happy in 2020 so far in the comments below. Let's make some lovely things. Okay, so the first happy thing from January and February for me is the fact that I finished my edits on Boy Queen. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who might be new and have clicked on this video because you're subscribed because of my Disney vlogs, hello, welcome. Boy Queen is my debut YA novel. It comes out on the 6th of August this year in the UK. I'll leave links to it in the description box below if you want to find out more. It's about a teenage boy called Robin Cooper whose life is falling apart and goes to a drag show and suddenly realises that he could become a drag queen and everything would be fabulous. There's more to it than that, but it's a really fun book. Trust me, I've spent a lot of time looking at it. And I got my first round of edits when I got back from holiday in November. So over the course of December and January and February, I did my first round of edits, I did my second round of edits, I did my copy edits, and then I did what I am calling my like last minute swears edit, where my editor sent the book back to me and said, there are a lot of swear words in this, 150 fucks if you must know. So we've lost some of the swears and also had some really cool like last minute notes in there before it went to be turned into a proof. And while I do still have the proof free to go, basically the bulk of the editing for me is kind of done. Like this is it. Like the book that, I mean, obviously changes will happen before the actual finished thing happens because there's a proofread, and no doubt I've done something wrong in terms of continuity, or I've changed a character's name halfway through and forgotten. Who knows what I've done? I won't find out until the proofread comes back. That's kind of like the main big chunk of editing I think is kind of done, which is terrifying, but also kind of cool. And I'm really, like, it's happened so fast because this is a very unusual bookish situation where the book was bought by Pan Macmillan before I'd even written it. So I've basically, that was all tied up in like September. So September, October, November, December, January, February. So in 6 months, we've done a first draft, first edit, second edit, copy edit, last minute swears edit. So we've done a lot in a very short space of time, but I finished them on Tuesday the 25th of February, sent them off, and yeah, it's being turned into a bound proof, an early release, an ARC, whatever you want to call it. So that is like the next thing. So they'll be appearing at some point, which isn't at all freaking me out. But yes, that's happy thing number 1, because it's something that I've wanted for like so very long. So it's obviously happened so fast that I've not really had time to kind of sit down and be like, oh my God, I've done this thing. But now I'm sitting here and thinking, oh my God, I've done this thing. And it's kind of cool. And I'm really pleased that like it's done and it's happened. And I'm very proud of the book. I'm very proud of what we've done with it, especially in such a short space of time. But I'm proud of what we've done with it. Like me, Rachel, Sim, Charlie, like what we've managed to put together. Rachel Vale, who did the cover, Emma, who did my copy edits, like what we've managed to create is kind of amazing. And I've got like a comms meeting booked in and all sorts. So it's all sort of go, go, go. But the bit where we make the book happen is like kind of getting there, which is really freaking exciting. So yeah, happy thing number 1. I went on about that a really long time. I'm sorry. Happy thing number 2. I read 7 books in January and February. I read 5 in January. I read 2 in February. So 7 books total. And while it's slightly behind on my goals of wanting to have read like a book a week, I want to try and read 50 books this year. So it's just shy of a book a week because I didn't read huge amounts last year. I've said this many, many times, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself constantly, but like I did a master's degree, and in doing that, my reading time was significantly cut back from where it was before. So something that I'm trying to do this year is get myself back into more of a reading habit. I'm trying to read before I go to bed if I can. I'm trying to listen to audiobooks more. But yeah, so in doing that, I've read 7 books. Most of them were winners. I only had 1 book that I read that I thought was a bit crap. So actually, pretty good going. I'll tell you what I read. I read Heartstoppers Volume 1, 2 and 3, which are just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous books. I read Hideous Beauty by William Hussey. I read Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt, which is the 2nd book in the Chuck Wendig trilogy. Chuck Wendig did a trilogy of Star Wars books that are set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. And I listened to the first one on audiobook. I listened to the second one on audiobook as well. They're fantastic, by the way. I can highly recommend the audiobooks, and I can highly recommend the books in general. They're really fantastic. Like, first of all, canonically queer Star Wars character exists in this book. Amazing. Just for one thing, but also it's a fantastic adventure story. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also really, really love Heartstopper. Like, I feel like I've made that abundantly clear on this channel that I'm a huge fan of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. So I was reading those before I went to bed, which was really, really nice. I was reading them on the days when I was doing my edits, when I was going to bed and I needed something to wind down. The thing that I was reading was Heartstopper because it's so lovely. So I essentially read, I think on 3 consecutive nights, I think I read the entirety of 1, 2 and 3. Like, I properly went in. It was a moment. Hideous Beauty by William Hussey comes out in July. I can't remember when in July, but it comes out in July, and it is a gorgeous romantic mystery that is very, very gay. It's fantastic. I loved it so very much. Like, it was like achingly good. Like, one of those really, really bloody good books. It's going to show up on a lot of best ofs for this year, I think. And the first book that I actually finished this year was The Music of What Happens by Bill Koenigsberg, which I just loved. I listened to the audiobook of that, and I am a huge fan of Bill Koenigsberg generally. His books Openly Straight and Honestly Ben are stunning. The Porcupine of Truth is great. The Music of What Happens is on like a whole nother level of absolute sheer brilliance, and I loved it. So that was really freaking great as well. So those are the 6 that I read that I loved, and there's 1 that I didn't like, which I'm not going to tell you. I'm not about to spread that kind of negativity into the world, but it wasn't ringing my bell. So yeah, there was just 1 book that I didn't like, but like 7 books, that's good going. I've got the next audiobook in the Aftermath series on the go. I'm currently reading 2 other books because I have no self-control. Yeah, I'm having a good reading year so far. Like, I've been reading some really, really good stuff. So yeah. Thing number 3 is kind of a boring one and doesn't apply to like the last week where it's kind of been a bit naff because I've not had time to do this, but I've seen a lot of progress at the gym. This is such a boring thing and I'm so sorry. I've not talked about it on this channel or on my Instagram that much because I don't want to become a gym bore. But I've been going to the gym fairly regularly, between 4 and 5 times a week if I can. Like, that's the most I will go. And working out more and lifting. Like, I never used to lift a lot before. I'd use a lot of the machines, but I never used the free weights. But this year I've started using more free weights. And I wasn't in a good place physically at the start of this year. Like, I was not where I wanted to be in terms of weight, in terms of the way I looked. I wasn't feeling it. So like, I worked really hard in January and February to like remedy that. And I need to I've kind of fallen off in the last week because like things have been happening. But like, I've been going to the gym more and I've been working harder while I've been there, and I've been seeing progress, and whether it's seeing progress in the way that I look, in the way that my body looks, in the way that I feel, because I'm not just going this kind of aesthetically or like a number on a scale, it's also like how I'm feeling and how my clothes are fitting, and I'm kind of getting back to I'm getting closer to where I want to be. And another way that I'm seeing progress is in the amount that I can lift. So like I can deadlift way more than I used to be able to deadlift. I don't have the strongest shoulders in the world, so like pull-ups were hard, and they're still hard, but they're easier than they were. So it's kind of because I'm using an app called CrocFit, which is made by a guy called Alex Crockford. It's a free app. You pay like a certain amount flat fee, and it's like basically 12 weeks of exercise. And I'm in like the final bit, which is really exciting for me. I'm not quite doing it as fast as I should be. So I'm like a little bit behind like where I should be. So I think I have like maybe 4 or 5 weeks left when I should only have like 4 or something. But I'm using this app. You pay like a flat fee and it gives you like the exercise for a month. He's got like 4 different programs on there, and it's great. I've really enjoyed using it. There's timers on there. It tells you how to do all the exercises, because that's the other thing. It's knowing how to use free weights and how to lift with a free weight. And like I was clueless. So like having like a little video for every single exercise saying, this is how you do this. Like it's so useful, because like the free weights area is the scariest bit of the gym. Like for anyone who's not like a muscle-bound Mary or one of those men who likes to scream when they lift things. I hate that bit of the gym, or I always used to hate that bit of the gym because it's so intimidating, because it's all these people who have like broader shoulders and bigger arms than I do, lifting things that I can't lift and doing things that I don't know how to do. So having this app that's kind of telling me what to do, it kind of gives you that confidence to go in and do it, because it's like, right, this is what I have to do. I'm just going to follow what he tells me to do and do it. And being able, and like you log which weight you use for each exercise, like how much. So like I'm kind of seeing the progress in the sense that it's like, well, last time I did this, I was lifting 8 kilogram dumbbells. Now I'm doing it with 10s. So it's sort of seeing it like that. But yeah, it's basically, that's a long-winded way of saying that I'm using an app called CrocFit, and it's great. And I'm seeing progress in terms of the fact that I'm lifting more than I used to lift, and it's great. I'm feeling good about that. And I need to get back on it because, yeah, I enjoy it. Like, it's fun. Like, it's not just about, like, I enjoy exercise. It's not just about, like, the aesthetics and getting thinner, although it is kind of wanting me to get back to my ideal weight and my ideal body mass situation. Not BMI is bullshit, but like sort of my ideal place where I'm happy, which I was last summer, and it's sad, but it's kind of getting myself back to that place, and it's fun. And because I enjoy it, I want to get back on it. But like, it's very, it's good for me. It's good for my brain. As someone who spent a year doing an MA where like there was maybe only one day a week where we didn't have a dance class, it was weird coming out of that and not having like that, all of that exercise all the time. So I feel like I have this like excess energy, which I'm doing more at the gym. I'm kind of expelling that energy more, which is another thing that I did, which is like completely not one of my 5 happies, but it is a 5 happy. I went to a dance class, which I've not done in ages, and I've only done one since like in the last 2 months, which is terrible. But like I took a dance class, I took a singing lesson. Like I'm kind of getting myself back generally. Thing number 4, the response to the Disney vlogs. This is something that I've actually spoken to Jordan about a lot, because neither one of us was expecting these videos to do nearly as well as they have. Like, our travel vlog at this point has over 4,000 views, which is ridiculous. And like, I've gained like nearly 200 subscribers since then. Like, it's so strange to like have people watching them and engaging with them and commenting on them, and it's just really nice. The response to them has been like so lovely and overwhelming, and we both really appreciate it. It's definitely like, I love uploading them on a Wednesday, even though sometimes they're late and sometimes they're a bit of a ball ache to edit because they're an hour long. What the hell? But like, it's so great to have that response to them, and so great that there are so many people enjoying them, because we took them for ourselves. Like, we took them for the two of us to look back on in however many years, or whenever we go on our next trip, to figure out what we want to do and where we want to eat and what we want to see and what we missed and what we don't want to do again. So we did it more for us than we did for anyone else. So the fact that there are so many people enjoying them is really nice. So thank you if you're one of the people that has been watching those and commenting on those and enjoying those. We both really appreciate it. It's honestly so enjoyable to like read those comments and reply to those comments. It's so lovely. So thank you so much if you are one of the people that are watching them and enjoying them. And also double thank you if you're watching these videos too, and that you're not just here for the Disney vlogs, you're here for like my face generally. So yeah, Thank you. Thing number 5, the final happy thing. That isn't to say I only had 5 happy things happen to me in the last 2 months. These are just like the highlights. This is my highlights reel. Some shit stuff happened too. Don't you worry about that. I've had some shit things happen in the last 2 months too, but we're focusing on the happy. That's what these videos are for. I went to a panel event in February at Waterstones Piccadilly that was being chaired by Catherine Webber, author of Wing Jones and Only Love Can Break Your Heart. David Levithan, author of like all of my favourite books. Most recently, 19 Love Songs. Ryan Lasala, author of Reverie. Juno Dawson, author of a bunch of my other favourite books, like This Book Is Gay, and most recently Meat Market, and Clean, and Say Her Name, and Hollow Pike, and Cruel Summer, and just all of these amazing books. And Darren Charlton, author of Wranglestone, who's a debut. Ryan Lasala, also a debut. I went to a panel event at Waterstones Piccadilly with all those people on it, and it was wonderful. I've not been to a book event in so long, so it was really fun to kind of be back at one and getting to chat with people who I've not spoken to for a really long time. Faye, if you're watching this, hello. I'm getting to see people like Katie, like Catherine Webber, and Juno, who I've not seen in ages, and David, who I have seen recently, but like it was nice to see him in an event setting, and meet Ryan. It was really, really lovely. It was just a really lovely event. Oh, and I met Kai from Fantastic Books and Where to Find Them, which was amazing because I follow his Instagram, and his Instagram is gorgeous. I'll leave a link to his Instagram below, which is really random. He probably won't watch this, but if he does, hi Kai. But his Instagram is beautiful. It was really, really lovely to be at an event and to be absorbing books in that way. It was just very, very exciting and very, very fun for me. So it was nice to kind of be back in that world, especially like it's a world that I've been out of for so long, like because of MA stuff and life things. I've been out of that world for such a long time, so it was nice to kind of come back into it again, and hopefully I'll go to more events before I end up doing them. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Please leave below your 5 happy things. That is your task. I normally ask you for an emoji, but please leave at least one. Leave one. I won't make you do 5 because it might take a while. But like, so just leave a happy thing that's happened to you in the last 2 months in the comments below, and let's spread some joy and spread some happiness. Let's do that thing. Thank you so much. That is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to put a thumb on it and subscribe down below if you want to see more. I love each and every one of your faces, and I'll speak to you as soon as I possibly can. Bye.